Now the term entry-level might mean different things to different brands. It might mean a Vios, it might mean a Mirage. But in the case of Ferrari, it means this. This is the Ferrari Amalfi. Now the Amalfi is the replacement of the Roma, and Ferrari flew us out here to Albufeira in Portugal to try it out. So now we're in the Ferrari Amalfi, and it just took a while to get used to it and started driving it. We're driving through some relaxed town driving now. The speed limit's quite slow, about 50. So what are my thoughts on the Amalfi? Well, the first time you get in the car and you sit down, you start it up, you hear that engine, and you think, oh, this car's gonna drive a certain way. But once you're actually starting to move, you realize that, hey, this is one of those cars that doesn't drive the way it looks. It actually drives a lot more calm, a lot more reserved. But then again, we are in the comfort mode. Pop it into sport mode and suddenly the car becomes a little bit livelier. But we're in the middle of a dual carriageway now. It's about 50 kilometers an hour in limit. It's not really one of those places where you can really push the car to any sort of performance driving whatsoever. But that being said, driving it on roads like this, at speeds like this, is shockingly civilized for a car that looks this cool. It really is a good GT car. Now we're on the highway, and I have to say that blast of acceleration down when you're joining the highway is very good, especially in sport mode. So at speed, there's a little bit of a hum. I'm not sure if it's the road or just the engine at a specific RPM, but it's like a low droning hum, which might annoy some people. But overall, again, it's just so easy to drive. Like, it really does feel like a big GT car, even if it looks so special. It's got a rear-guided ADAS system, so it's keeping a distance from the car in front. So overall, it's quite chill, it's quite relaxed, and that's exactly what you want in a GT car. Oof, that's a big hump. Exactly, this is why this car is so good. That was a really big dip and really big pothole on the road, and the car just took it completely fine, no problem at all. In fact, this is one of the most comfortable performance cars I've ever tried. Now, does Ferrari call it a performance car? Not really. They say it's more of a GT car. But the numbers would show that Ferrari might be lying a little bit, because this does have 631 horsepower and 760 Newton meters of torque. That means this car can go from 0 to 100 in 3.3 seconds. And that is nothing to sneeze at in the performance car world. If this is not a performance-focused Ferrari, I don't know what is. Now, these roads, they are winding, they are quite treacherous. There's a lot of rocks on the road, there's a big potholes that you really have to swerve to avoid. But really, this car does not only just drive so well, but it's also so comfortable that it feels so natural to drive, even on roads like this. So overall, after all that's said and done, how does this drive? Well, we think that this is the best daily drivable Ferrari you can buy today. It's got all the benefits of a Grand Tourer. It's got a comfortable interior with a lot of space. It's got a usable trunk and a suspension that's so plush it can absorb all the bumps on the road, and it doesn't skimp on the performance level of a Ferrari. It's got 630 plus horsepower, 760 Newton meters of torque, and can go 0 to 100 in 3.3 seconds. Now, that's what Ferrari call daily drivable, but that's what we call quite quick. So overall, we love it. We find that this is the most practical Ferrari you can buy today. Now that we're inside the Amalfi, the first thing that you'll see is the steering wheel, and the first thing you'll notice is the touch screen buttons are gone. They're actual physical buttons now, which are so much better to use, honestly. Before, with the Roma, when you turn the wheel, you tend to touch the buttons, which might activate your cruise control, or it might actually increase or decrease the volume of the speakers. But now, with Amalfi, they've gone back to the physical buttons, which is a change that we love to see. Other things of note inside the Amalfi is that you have 3 screens. You have your 10.5-inch screen here in the middle, that's for your Apple CarPlay. You have your 15.6-inch screen here up front, which is your digital driver's display. And you have a 3rd screen here for the passenger. This is an 8-inch screen that can show your passenger just how scary you're driving or how fast you're going. typical for Ferrari, you have a nice blend of interior materials here. You have some very nice leather up here. You have some carbon fiber here in the paddles and the steering wheel, and you have some nice metals here in the center console. A lot of it's very nice Alcantara here, and you have some nice Amalfi logos here. Now, one thing we like is something that we had a hard time looking for when we first got the car, is the key, which is recessed here in the center. Now, it's a nice embossed Ferrari logo, and once it goes in the center, it becomes basically a part of the interior. It's a very nice key holding solution. In terms of gear shifts, you have these 3 levers here. They're very small, but they're easy enough to understand. One goes into reverse, one shifts you between automatic and manual gears, and one is an L, which I don't actually know. So you have your gear shifters here, but you can shift between your automatic and your manual modes, and then you can shift with the paddles up here. Your window switches are here in the center, and you have a wireless phone charger here, as well as a singular cup holder here. Now, inside this is quite a lot of space, and it's quite a roomy and practical interior, honestly. So overall, what we think about the interior, it's actually quite a nice place to sit. It's got enough headroom, especially for someone like me. I'm 6'2", and it's actually quite comfy as an interior, especially if you spend a little bit more time in it while you're driving. And why are we trunk space testing a Ferrari? Because you can't call a GT car unless you have a usable trunk. So here's the key to the Ferrari. You can just double click the button in the back to open the trunk. And as you can see, once the trunk is open, it actually has quite a decent amount of space. Now, this is a pretty big camera bag. We can drop it in here, and you can see now that it does have some usable space, especially for a car that drives like this. Now, can you use this to pick up someone at the airport? Maybe not. You can probably fit in a check-in luggage here and maybe one carry-on. But if you do need to fit longer items, let's say golf bags or stuff, there is a button here that you can press that drops the rear seats. So, as I mentioned a while ago, it's the entry-level Ferrari. It has a little bit of the Roma DNA that we all know and love, but there's a little bit of changes here and there. Like the first one we didn't really like in the Roma is how the ADAS system was like bulging out on the side, but now they've been able to hide it a little bit better down here. So it's a lot smaller, a lot better looking, at least in our opinion. Now you have the modern headlights here, which give it a nice looking face. It doesn't look like a face. I know the Ferrari designer doesn't want to say that cars have faces, but that's what it looks like to me. You have a front carbon fiber splitter here. It connects to the carbon fiber side skirts over there, which give it a nice dynamic look, especially combined with 20-inch mags front and back. Now, coming around to the back, you'll start to see that there's a nice dynamic round line that goes across the entire car. That's because it's a GT car, but because it's a little bit rounder, it looks elegant as well as sporty. So it's quite a good balance in our opinion. Coming up to the rear, you have your quad tailpipes here, a rear splitter here, as well as this active aerodynamic piece here. So overall, what do we think about the way it looks? It's got the nice sporty design that's current in all the Ferraris available right now, but it also has that nice, elegant GT lines that we all know and love. So overall, what do we think about the Ferrari Amalfi? It's definitely the best entry-level Ferrari that we've seen. I'm definitely a fan. While you're driving the car, 3.3 seconds to 0 to 100 is quite crazy. And what's actually crazier over all of that is just how planted it feels on the road. It drives really well, and it really holds the road quite spectacularly. Now, it's easy enough to drive, but more than that, after all of this, it's such a comfy drive that it's something that you can see yourself driving every day. Maybe not in Manila, but definitely here in Portugal, it's something that we would love to take on a daily basis, no? So what do we think about this Ferrari? We give it a 9.5 out of 10.